I was hoping you'd get the speaker to start dancing. He might throw something out, and I'll get to preside all next week.
Yes, sir.
Speaker Lucas.
Thank you, Mr. Pope. Many of you know, who have known me for any period of time, know I'm passionate about music and the power of music to break down barriers. There's no lack of incredible African-American musicians and artists from South Carolina among them, and many of you may not know this, and we all want to start back at the beginning, but Dizzy Gillespie is from the town of Sherrall. Dizzy Gillespie invented, Dizzy Gillespie, along with Charlie Parker, invented modern day jazz and bebop. Chubby Checker is from Spring Gully. Who knows where Spring Gully is? Who? Well, a new precinct. Well, if you ever did the twist, the pony, the limbo, or the fly, everybody remembers Chubby Checker. James Brown obviously is from Barnwell, South Carolina, the progenitor of funk music in America today. Peabo Bryson. Do you know Peabo Bryson is from Greenville, South Carolina? And he wrote some wonderful songs, and we won't hold it against him that his Grammys were from Disney movies, but he got 2 Grammy Awards. Of course, our favorite Darius Rucker from the University of South Carolina, Maurice Williams from Lancaster, South Carolina. Teddy Pendergrass was born in King Street, South Carolina. Maxine Brown was also born in Pendergrass. Why can't you sing? And the late, great, many of you don't know this individual, but James Jamerson, who was a member of the Funk Brothers with Motown. You know, Motown was kind of cheap. They had a lot of great acts, but they only had one band. And if you look at the greatest bass players of all time, James Jamerson will always top that list, and he is from Edisto Island, South Carolina. So I want to talk today about the writer that timeless song's lyrics you just heard, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. That is Nicholas Ashford from Winnsboro, South Carolina, Ms. McDaniel. Nicholas Ashford went to New York penniless in the early 1960s with dreams of becoming a dancer. Valerie Simpson, who he later partners with, his wife, once said in the early days when Nick visited New York, he was determined. He told me he was walking down Central Park West looking at the buildings and seeing them not as buildings, but as mountains and what he had to overcome. And he was determined that New York was not going to do him in, that he was going to make it, even though the odds were certainly against someone from Winnsboro by way of Detroit becoming a successful songwriter. Now, many of you may not know Nicholas Ashford, but I'm going to tell you who he is in a minute because he is remarkable. He may be the greatest songwriter ever to have written music. And I'll give you a couple of quotes of what people think about it. But Nicholas Ashford met Valerie Simpson at the White Rock Baptist Church in Harlem, where she sang in a choir. Although he was homeless at the time, the pair would eventually form a musical partnership which after 8 years blossomed into romance and marriage. They bested songwriters such as Lennon and McCartney, Holland Dozier Holland, Hall & Oates with their opulent produced pop soul sound based on gospel with a strong danceable pulse. The great thing about Nicholas Ashford's lyrics were, and he wrote 90% of the songs, is they were uplifting. They were strong. They were enthusiastic messages about love, life, and empowerment. He wrote for such people as Ronnie Milsap, Maxine Brown, the Shirelles, the Guess Who. In 1968, his biggest hit was sung by Ray Charles, whose career at the time was struggling, but he wrote Ray Charles the #1 hit, and he and his wife were immediately scooped up by Motown. Nicholas wrote for virtually every major act on the Motown label, including Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Smokey Robinson, the Marvelettes, the Supremes, and actually wrote and produced Diana Ross's first 3 albums. The songs he wrote during that period of time continue to be legendary. The song you heard, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, was written 55 years ago. Wow. if you go on Spotify, 773 million people have downloaded that song. He wrote Your Precious Love. He wrote Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Baby. Two of the greatest ain't songs in the history of America. Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Baby, and Ain't No Mountain High Enough. He wrote You're All I Need to Get By. He wrote Keep On Loving Me, Honey. He wrote for Diana Ross, Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hands. Though he had some of the greatest success at Motown, Ashford and Simpson created anthems for others like I'm Every Woman. He wrote that for Chaka Khan. Ashford and Simpson also had success writing for themselves, perhaps best known for their 1980 hit Solid, which they performed at Barack Obama's inauguration. Nicholas Ashford died of throat cancer on August 22nd, 2011. His music is unmatched in terms of great songwriting. Vogue's first African-American male creative director, Andre Leon Talley, who recently died, said this of Nicholas Ashford about his funeral. Nicholas Ashford was a giant, a saint, a talent whose contributions matched those of the likes of James Brown, Nina Simone, James Baldwin, Dr. Maya Angelou, Ralph Ellison, Duke Ellington, and after a pause he added, Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart. That's how powerful the words of Nicholas Ashford were. Together, they won a Grammy Trustee Award. They were nominated many times for Grammys. They unfortunately didn't win, but they received a Grammy Trustee Award. They are in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, the Rhythm and Blues Foundation Pioneer Award, most importantly, the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers' highest honor, the Founders Award. Many of you who didn't make it through the 50s and 60s like some of us in here don't remember the rope at concerts. There was always a rope separating black sections and white sections from being together, or Africans Americans were often placed in the balcony. If there were going to be more white people than blacks there, they would have a section for the whites. I looked at a picture last night and it was mating. There was an auditorium with one side completely white and one side completely black. But I can tell you the great thing about music is it breaks down all those barriers. At the height of Jim Crow, young whites and blacks found a way to breach that separation. After the first intermission, and this is Lloyd Price. I love Lloyd Price. Many of you don't remember Stagger Lee. It was my grandfather's favorite song, but what a great song. Lloyd Price said, after the first intermission, the kids were dancing together. I just kept playing my music and the kids kept coming. They were rebelling through dance, through a beat I'd created. They started realizing that we're all human. So please join me in acknowledging Nicholas Ashford among so many great musicians who came from South Carolina as we continue our celebration of Black History Month.